The city pulsed below, a web of lights flickering across Manhattan like the neurons of a restless giant. From the top floor of the Langston Tower, none of it mattered. Travis Langston stood at the edge of his glass-walled penthouse, eyes fixed on nothing. His coffee had gone cold an hour ago. He didn't drink it anymore, just held it like a prop to feel human. Behind him, silence stretched like concrete. It wasn't peaceful, it was oppressive, like a pressure system collapsing inward. The marble floors echoed even when no one moved, and in that silence, near the far window, sat his daughter, Lily, 8 years old, strapped gently into her custom wheelchair. Her hands curled into soft, uncontrollable tremors. Her head leaned slightly to the right. As always, she hadn't spoken a word in her life. Travis turned slowly, his gaze softened as it landed on her, and he set the mug down on the counter with a quiet clink. "Morning, sweetheart," he said, kneeling in front of her. Lily's eyes fluttered, just barely. Not a blink, not a response, just an instinctive flicker, a breeze through empty branches. He brushed a strand of curly hair from her cheek. "Didn't mean to leave you alone for so long." The corner of her mouth twitched. It was probably a muscle spasm, but Travis let himself pretend. "Daddy's here, okay." He kissed the back of her hand, gently resting his forehead against her fingers. They didn't move. He had everything, or he used to. A tech empire, power, private jets, offshore holdings, magazine covers, but none of it could buy him what he wanted most: connection. He would trade every asset for a single word from Lily, a hi, a dad, even a sigh that meant something. But all he had was this chair, this child, and a silence that clawed into the bone. From the intercom, a chime buzzed to life. A cold voice. "Mr. Langston, board meeting in 10. He didn't move. "What's the point of power?" he whispered, "if you can't fix the one thing that matters?" Behind him, the sliding doors opened with a hiss. Footsteps, sharp heels. On marble, "Mr. Langston," a woman's voice called. It was clipped, professional. The therapist. Travis stood slowly, looking over his shoulder as the woman approached. "I'm sorry," she began, gathering her things without looking him in the eye. "We've exhausted every method. Lily doesn't respond to visual prompts, auditory cues, touch therapy. She's resistant to engagement. It's like..." She hesitated. "It's like she doesn't want to be reached." Travis stared at her. "You're quitting?" "I'm recommending she be evaluated elsewhere, with a more specialized team." He signed the invoice without another word. After the door clicked shut, silence returned like a weight. Angela appeared from the hallway, arms folded. "The third in 6 weeks," she said. Travis exhaled. "I'm paying them more than any hospital. They should be working miracles." Angela stepped forward, her voice tight. "She's not a spreadsheet, Travis. She's a child. And this isn't a hostile takeover." He flinched, just slightly, then muttered, "What do you want me to do? Hire a priest, a magician?" "No," Angela said, steady. "Just someone who sees her." Travis turned away. The conversation was over. He retreated to his office, loosened his tie, and sat heavily in the leather chair. His eyes landed on a photo framed in silver. Helen, his wife, holding Lily as a newborn. The only photo where they looked like a family. It was taken hours before Helen died during childbirth. He pressed his palm against the glass. A knock. "Come in." It was Scott, his assistant. "Young, eager, loyal, sir," he said carefully. "There's someone I'd like to suggest." Off the record, Travis didn't look up. "If it's another PhD, save it. She's not a therapist, not even close. She cleans for the church my nephew attends." That got his attention. Travis turned. "A cleaner." Scott held up a small folder. "Her name's Jennifer Miles. She's different." "I don't need different," Travis snapped. "I need effective." "I know," Scott said calmly. "But my nephew, he didn't speak for months after his mother died. Jennifer didn't use flashcards or treatment plans. She just showed up and listened." He laughed with her before he ever said another word. Silence stretched between them. Travis reached for the folder and flipped it open. No resume, no degrees. Just a reference letter from a pastor and a photo of a woman in a navy blouse, smiling in front of a church. "She looks ordinary," Travis said. Scott nodded. "She is. But sometimes, that's exactly what we need." Travis closed the folder. "One shift. If I don't see something real, she's out." "Understood." As Scott left, Travis glanced at the photo of Helen again. "Let's see what a stranger can do," he muttered. The elevator chimed. Jennifer Miles stood in the hallway of the Langston penthouse, clutching the strap of her canvas tote. Her palms were damp. Her heart beat like a drum in her ears. She wore a simple navy blouse and black flats. Her dark hair was pulled into a tight bun, a habit left over from another life. Inside the tote were cleaning supplies, folded rags on top. Deep beneath a bundle of microfiber cloths, a thin pink ribbon, frayed at the edges. When the door opened, she almost stepped back. Marble floors, clean lines, cold air, a space too perfect to breathe in. Jennifer Scott greeted her, offering a warm smile that didn't quite match the tension in his shoulders. "Come in." She followed him in, trying not to let her eyes wander too much. The place felt like a gallery, not a home. Sculptures, mirrors, furniture that looked untouched. Even the light coming through the enormous windows felt artificial, like it was trying too hard. "Mr. Langston is observing," Scott said, choosing his words carefully. "Don't worry, just do what you normally do." "Sure," she whispered, though nothing about this felt normal. As Scott disappeared down the hallway, Jennifer moved quietly to the kitchen. The counters were spotless. It was clear someone else had already done the cleaning. That wasn't what she was here for, not really. Still, she took out a soft cloth and began wiping down the glass surface of the kitchen island. Her hands moved slowly, rhythmically. She let her body follow the flow of each stroke, not rushing, not hesitating. And then, without thinking, she began to hum an old lullaby, one her mother used to sing on nights when the rain hit the roof like dancing fingers. It slipped out of her like breath. "Hush now, my darling, don't you cry." Her voice was soft, barely above a whisper, the kind of sound that filled spaces not with volume, but with presence. She didn't know that just around the corner, Travis Langston stood, arms folded, watching every move. He expected awkwardness, hesitation, a rehearsed smile. He did not expect grace. Jennifer moved, like water, not dancing exactly, but something close. Her movements weren't intentional performances. They were subconscious rhythms, like muscle memory long buried. She cleaned like a woman who once danced without fear. And more importantly, Lily noticed. From her place near the wide window, Lily's head tilted ever so slightly. Her eyes tracked the swaying of the cloth. Her lips parted, just barely. Jennifer didn't see it, not yet. She was still humming as she moved through the living room, pausing. By the edge of a low shelf, she reached behind a row of framed photographs and found a small object, a silver, delicate, a music box. The lid creaked as she opened it. The melody it released was faint, a bit off-key, like a memory told too many times. A classical waltz. Jennifer froze. Something tugged at her deep, unspoken. She wound the box slowly, let the song spin out again. Then, turning toward the window, she saw her, Lily. Eyes wide, still focused on the music. Jennifer stepped forward, gently placing the music box on the table beside the wheelchair. "Do you like this?" she asked, her voice low and kind. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Lily didn't speak, but her fingers twitched. Once, twice. Jennifer didn't react, didn't gasp. She simply lowered herself to the floor and sat beside the child, cross-legged, hands resting on her knees. She didn't try to coax a response, she just listened to the melody with her. From the hallway, Travis's breath caught in his throat. He hadn't heard that melody since Helen died. She used to play it on the upright piano in the corner every evening until the music stopped forever. Now, here it was, rising from a box long forgotten, echoing through the room like a ghost returning home. Jennifer remained silent, eyes fixed on the girl beside her. Lily blinked slowly, in rhythm with the music. "She's never reacted to anything like that," Travis said softly, stepping forward without realizing it. Jennifer looked up, surprised but unafraid. "It's not always about reaction," she said. "Sometimes it's just connection." The room felt full, not loud, not busy, just full, like someone had cracked a window and let the world back in. Later that afternoon, Jennifer packed her things. Travis hadn't said whether she'd return the next day. She didn't ask, as she slipped out through the massive door. Scott caught her in the hallway. "She watched you," he said. "Lily?" Jennifer paused. "Did she?" Scott nodded. "And Travis did too. That's more than most people get in a month." Jennifer smiled faintly, but didn't respond. She had nothing to prove. She just followed the rhythm. That night, Travis stood at the balcony alone, scotch in hand, staring at the skyline. He thought of Helen. He thought of Lily. He thought of the stranger who sat cross-legged on his floor, like it was the most natural thing in the world. And for the first time in months, he wasn't suffocating. He was curious. The next morning, Jennifer arrived earlier than scheduled. She moved through the quiet penthouse with soft footsteps. Her tote lighter this time, no heavy sprays, no gloves, only a folded scarf tucked into the side pocket and a small set of handbells wrapped in cloth. The air inside the apartment felt changed. Not warmer, exactly, but less. Closed. Lily was already near the window, bathed in morning light. Travis stood a few feet away, arms crossed, watching them both. He didn't speak. Jennifer gave him a small nod before walking toward the living room. She didn't greet Lily with forced cheer. She just sat on the floor, not too close, and took out the scarf, pale blue, thin and long, the kind that caught light in motion. She looked at Lily and smiled gently. "You want to see something silly?" Of course, Lily didn't respond, but her eyes flickered. That was enough. Jennifer held the scarf at both ends and began to move, slowly, flowing through the air like wind made visible. She spun it wide, let it dip and float, then brought it close again. Her movements were soft and exaggerated, like a child playing make-believe. She hummed, not the lullaby this time, but a brighter tune, something old and playful, like a carousel melody. Then quietly Lily giggled. It was barely more than a breath, but it was there. Travis dropped his coffee. Jennifer froze, her eyes wide. "Did you?" Lily giggled again, a little louder. Her mouth opened into a crooked smile. Her shoulders trembled, and then a sound escaped her, a small wheezy burst of laughter, high-pitched and unmistakable. Travis staggered forward like something had punched the air out of his lungs. "She's laughing," he whispered. "She's God, she's laughing." Jennifer didn't break character. She bowed dramatically, the scarf trailing behind her like a cape. Thank you," she said with mock grandeur. "For my next trick." Lily's eyes sparkled. Angela entered the room just as Jennifer made an exaggerated twirl and stumbled on purpose, flopping onto the rug like a clown. Lily laughed again, sharper this time. Full body. Angela stopped mid-stride, frozen as that. Lily. Travis didn't answer. He crouched beside his daughter, his hands trembling as he reached for her. She was still giggling, still following the movement of the scarf as Jennifer waved it back and forth. "She's never," he choked, unable to finish. Angela stared, stunned. Jennifer glanced up, her face flushed. "I didn't do anything magic," she said quickly. "She just responded." "No," Angela said slowly. "You did something no one else could. You made her feel safe enough to try." Travis looked at Jennifer with something new in his eyes. It wasn't skepticism anymore. It wasn't cautious respect. It was trust. The following day, Jennifer returned with something different. A set of small handbells and lightweight ankle shakers. She had them wrapped neatly in a cloth roll, like an artist carrying brushes. Travis met her at the door this time. "She laughed yesterday," he said, almost dazed. "I heard." She smiled. "Let's see if we can turn a giggle into a step." He followed her into Lily's room, where the child sat in her usual spot, gaze distant. Jennifer knelt beside her and unrolled the bells. "Okay, sweetheart," she said gently. "I want to try something new. No pressure." She strapped a shaker lightly around her own ankle, then tapped her toe against the mat. A soft jingle echoed. Tap, tap, swish. She moved her foot in rhythm, keeping it simple. "Music doesn't just come from instruments," she told Lily. "Can come from you, too." Then she placed a single bell in Lily's palm, curling her fingers around it gently. "If you even feel like lifting it, just a little, that's enough." Travis stood at the edge of the room, barely breathing. Jennifer began moving. Her feet tapped in slow rhythm, her arms flowing like waves. 15 minutes passed in silence. No response. Then Lily's fingers twitched. The bell gave a soft, accidental chime. Jennifer froze, but she didn't celebrate, didn't startle her. She stepped closer and whispered, "That's your sound. That's your music." Travis blinked, stunned. "She's never done that," he said hoarsely. "Not even close." "She's answering," Jennifer whispered, "because we're finally speaking her language." And then it happened again. Lily's hand lifted slightly. The bell chimed once, more clear, deliberate. Tears welled in Travis's eyes. "Keep going," he whispered. Jennifer did. She reached for Lily's other hand, her voice steady but low. "Would you like to try a step, sweetheart?" Lily blinked once. That was all Jennifer needed. She gently slipped off the bell and supported Lily under her arms, guiding her to stand, not forcing, just offering. Travis dropped to his knees beside them. "It's okay," he whispered. "You're safe." Lily's foot shifted, a small movement, barely more than a shuffle. Then her toes pushed forward, her heel followed. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't even balanced, but it was hers. Travis gasped and caught her gently. "That's it," Jennifer said, breath-catching. "That's your step." Another shuffle, another foot forward. Travis buried his face in his hands, shoulders shaking. Jennifer held Lily's waist, steadying her. "You did it," she whispered into the child's ear. "You really did it." The moment hung in the air like suspended, light and touched, holy, when it passed. Jennifer let herself breathe. She met Travis's eyes, and for the first time, he smiled, really smiled. "We need to do more than this," he said, his voice still raw. "We need to give this to others, not just Lily." Jennifer blinked. "What do you mean?" "I mean," he said slowly, "we build something, a place, a center, for this, for music, for rhythm, for children like her." Jennifer sat back on her heels, stunned. "A therapy center?" "No," he said, "something better. Not cold walls and clipboards. A sanctuary." He turned to Angela, who had appeared in the doorway, her eyes still wet from watching. "You're in, too," he said. Angela nodded slowly, her voice soft. "Tell me where to start." Scott appeared behind her, clutching a tablet. "I've already pulled zoning permits. I figured this might happen." Jennifer stared at them all. "Are you serious?" Travis crouched beside her. "You helped Lily find her rhythm," he said. "Now, let's help others find theirs." She looked at Lily, smiling faintly, bell still in hand, then back at Travis. And something deep in her heart whispered, "Yes." Began with a box. An old cedar chest tucked away in the attic of the Langston estate, marked only with a brass plaque that read CL. Angela stood over it, alone, the sun pouring through the small arched window behind her. Dust hung in the air like static. She hesitated before opening it, her fingers trembling ever so slightly. Inside were records, banknotes, handwritten letters, worn photographs. She pulled out a navy blue leather notebook tied with twine. On the first page, in faded ink, "To my second daughter." Angela sat slowly, spine stiff, eyes scanning the first paragraph. With each line, her face drained. Letters filled with guilt, promises never fulfilled, apologies written but never spoken. The name appeared again and again. Jennifer. She flipped further. Documents, a birth certificate. Same father, Charles Langston. Different mother, different life. Angela pressed her fingers to her lips. "Oh my God," she whispered. Downstairs, Scott waited in the study, pale and restless. The documents he had uncovered the night before had pointed to something unthinkable, but this confirmed it. Jennifer Miles wasn't just a miracle worker with a ribbon and a lullaby. She was Travis's half-sister. Back at the Lily Center, the first section of construction had begun. Jennifer walked barefoot across the chalk-lined floor of what would soon be the open movement studio. Her scarf was tied loosely around her wrist as she gestured to the architect. "This space needs air," she said. "Windows all the way across. Let the light move like rhythm." The architect nodded, sketching fast. "And here," she pointed, "soft flooring, no sharp edges. Think stage meets sanctuary." In the background, Lily sat on a mat, tapping a shaker softly against her knee. Travis watched her, notebook in hand, but half forgotten in his lap. His eyes kept drifting to Jennifer. There was something about her lately, a weight behind her smile, like she was carrying more than she let on. That afternoon, Jennifer found a quiet corner and opened a small cloth bag she'd brought from home. Inside was Helen's journal, discovered weeks earlier. She'd been reading it slowly, like poetry, one page a night, sometimes two. "I hope she dances without fear. She ran her fingers over the ink. Then Angela appeared in the doorway. She didn't knock. She just stood there, holding the navy blue notebook to her chest. Jennifer looked up and immediately knew something was wrong. Angela crossed the room and sat without asking. "There's something you need to see," she said, softly, placing the folder between them. Jennifer opened it. Her eyes moved line by line. At first confusion, then disbelief, then silence, so deep it rang in her ears. She closed the folder, stared ahead. "Charles Langston," she whispered, as in. Angela nodded. Jennifer stood, as if her legs moved on instinct alone. "I need to go," she said. Please. Angela reached for her arm. He didn't know you, at least not the way he should have. But it's not your fault. Jennifer shook her head. I'm not ready. She walked out before anyone else could stop her. Travis got the call 30 minutes later. Angela's voice was shaky. She knows. He sat alone in the rooftop garden, the city glowing beneath him, her absence already forming a hollow. He thought about the things he hadn't said. The day Jennifer first walked through the door, he'd been ready to dismiss her, ready to laugh Scott out of the room, and now the woman who'd taught his daughter how to smile again turned out to be the sister he never knew he had. It should have felt like betrayal, but instead, it felt like fate. He picked up his phone, hesitated, then typed, "Please come back. I don't care about the name. I care about you." No reply. He waited. Jennifer sat alone in the back of the old church where she used to clean. The scent of wax and wood gave her something to hold on to. Her hands shook. A memory flickered. Her mother, crying on the phone, begging someone for help. She never said who. Just a man with too much money and no time. Jennifer had never asked. Now she didn't have to. She pulled the ribbon from her bag, the one from her final performance. She tied it to her wrist, like armor. Then stood. Time to go back, but not as a stranger. Travis waited in the Lily Center's side room, the one with soft cushions and a tall arched window. He looked out as she stepped through the door. The morning sun behind her like a halo. She said nothing at first. Neither did he. She sat down across from him. "I don't even know what to feel," she said. "I know. I thought I was just a guest in your world. Turns out I've been standing in my own shadow." Travis nodded, voice raw. "You didn't stumble into our lives, Jennifer. You were meant to be here." They sat in silence for a long time. Finally, she whispered, "So, what now?" He leaned forward. "Now we tell the truth. To Lily, to the team, to ourselves. And we build this place, not just as colleagues, but as family." Jennifer looked down at her hands. "I'm scared. So am I." She looked at him, tears brimming, but not falling. "But I'm staying." Travis exhaled, closed his eyes. Relief, forgiveness, belonging, all in one breath. The morning sun rose gently over the city, casting long golden shadows through the glass walls of the Lily Center. Inside, a quiet hum of excitement filled the air. Children moved down the halls in bright clothing, ribbons trailing behind them like comets. Parents sat in clusters, whispering in nervous anticipation. Therapists moved about barefoot, placing soft scarves, musical bells, and sensory mats across the open floor. It was the center's one-year anniversary, and it didn't feel like an institution. It felt like a celebration of sound, color, and breath. Jennifer stood near the back entrance, her dress a soft shade of pink that echoed the ribbon still tied at her wrist. Her hair was pulled into a low bun, and a tiny silver lily pin sparkled just above her ear. She was calm. Not because she wasn't nervous, but because, for the first time in her life, she knew exactly where she belonged. Angela approached from the right, carrying a clipboard and wearing a rare expression. A full smile. "Full house," she said. "We had to open the overflow room twice." Jennifer blinked. "You're telling me this calmly?" Angela shrugged. "I'm evolving." They shared a laugh, genuine, easy. Then Scott appeared behind them, motioning toward the main studio. "It's time." Jennifer stepped into the large circular space at the center of the building, the heart of the Lily Center. The lights dimmed gently, bathing the space in a soft amber glow. Pillows lined the perimeter. Parents sat on cushions or mats, some holding their children close, others letting them lie back, relaxed, eyes wide. A hush fell. Then a familiar voice echoed from the simple microphone near the front. Travis, he stood, tall, in a black suit, crisp and unassuming, but with a small white lily-shaped pin on his lapel. He didn't speak immediately. He scanned the room slowly, eyes pausing at Jennifer, then resting on the child seated beside her. Lily, she wore a soft white ballet dress with gold trim. Her hair had been pulled back with care. Her braces, though still there, were hidden beneath. Tights dyed to match her skin tone. She sat upright, eager. Travis took a deep breath. "A year ago," he began, "this building was nothing but steel beams and plaster, and my daughter, my Lily, was a child I could not reach. I had wealth, power, but not what mattered most, connection." He paused, the silence respectful. "What you may not know," he continued, "is that this center wasn't just born from architecture or finance. It was built by rhythm, by hope, by one person who walked into my home as a stranger and helped my daughter find her voice. His voice tightened. That person is not just our founder. She is, as I've recently discovered, my sister. Gasps fluttered through the crowd, followed by stunned silence. Jennifer didn't move, neither did Lily, but Travis turned toward them. Her name is Jennifer Miles, and she saved us. Then he stepped back from the mic. Applause broke out at first, then rising like a wave. Some parents stood. Some clapped while wiping tears. Others held their children close and nodded with quiet, understanding. Jennifer stood only when Lily tugged her hand gently. "It's your turn," she whispered. And Lily rose. Yes, rose. With a little help, of course. Her knees trembled. Her grip on Jennifer's hand was tight, but she stood on her own 2 feet. She stepped out into the center of the room. A soft melody began to play, simple piano chords layered with a soft flute. A piece Jennifer had composed from memory and instinct. A song without lyrics, but full of story. Lily lifted her arms. She took a slow, tentative step, then another. The room held its breath. Jennifer joined her, not leading, but following, mirroring Lily's movements like a partner in a duet. Every gesture was deliberate. No frills, just courage. Halfway through the routine, Lily stumbled slightly. Jennifer froze, but Lily caught herself. The audience exhaled. She smiled. A wide, true, radiant smile. Jennifer's heart swelled. She mirrored the next movement, arms open, one foot sliding behind the other in a soft curtsy. Lily copied it. When the final note faded, Lily lifted both hands into the air, fingers curled, and stood as still as a flame. The room erupted. Laughter, cheers, tears. Travis rose to his feet, clapping harder than anyone. Angela dabbed her eyes beside him, her clipboard long forgotten. "She's her mother's daughter," she whispered. After the performance, Lily didn't walk, she ran. She wobbled. Yes, she staggered, but her legs moved with purpose. Straight into her father's arms. He caught her and lifted her off the floor like she weighed nothing at all. "You are magic," he whispered into her hair. "You are my miracle." Jennifer stepped back into the wings, letting them have the moment. Then she turned. Behind the stage, etched into the glass wall and glowing in the soft afternoon light, was the inscription she'd designed months ago. "That Lily Center, where silence becomes song, and every child finds their dance." She placed her hand against the glass and whispered, "We did it, Lily." A small voice behind her said clearly, "We all did." She turned. Lily stood beside her, ribbon in hand, eyes bright. Travis walked up behind them, wrapping an arm around each shoulder. Jennifer looked at them both. A father, a daughter, a sister. Not a broken family, just one that took a little longer to find the beat. Together, the three of them stepped back into the movement floor. The music played again gently, without pressure, and for the first time they danced. Together. Not with precision, not with grace. With joy. With love. With rhythm. And that was more than enough. If you made it to the end, comment the word hope, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends and family.